Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Talk little heavyweights, legends, stuff like that. And heavyweights nowadays. That's where the concussion pops off at. The heavyweights. Now, let's talk about Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, right? A fight I am personally not hyped about, but the boxing world could be. This is two heavyweight champions, right? And it's an undisputed fight, right? Probably shouldn't be, but it's an undisputed fight, which should be important in boxing. It's getting less and less significant, which we don't like. Find out who the very best heavyweight is. Now, this fight, according to the promoter of Tyson Fury, or one of them, the stateside promoter being Bob Arum, the legend in Bob Arum, he's saying, listen, man, this fight here between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua is going to be the biggest fight since Ali versus Frazier, right? So anybody that's been in here over 3 times, what do you think I think about that statement, right? What do you think I think about that statement? First of all, I think hell no. It's not going to be the biggest fight from Ali since Ali versus Frazier. It's going to make some money. It's going to make some money, not as much as everybody's expecting. It's going to make some money, but you're talking Ali Frazier. I think I take issue with that because my personal GOAT for the heavyweights is Lennox Lewis, and I think Lennox Lewis versus Holyfield, 1 and 2, right? Because it's for undisputed, and I definitely think Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson was bigger. These guys are legends, bona fide legends. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua still got a little work to do, right? It's a big fight, but you still got a lot of work to do, right? These are not the 2 very best without any controversy. I'll try to leave the controversy out this time, but there's major question marks, especially by Tyson Fury. From weeks from now, we could be talking a whole different thing about Tyson Fury, right? We don't know. Anthony Joshua is awesome, right? But chinny, right? I think there's odds when I did a video about a month and a half ago about the odds for Tyson, not Tyson Fury, but Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder are even. People know that he can probably get chinned, right? Because he's been hurt on several occasions. Doesn't mean he's not awesome, right? Thomas Hearns was chinny, but Thomas Hearns is a legend because it's like you get knocked out or me, right? So it doesn't really matter, but I'm just saying is we don't know if these are the very, very best 2 guys, right? It should be more of a round robin popping off, but I don't think either one of these guys is going to ever be as good as Lennox Lewis. That's just me. Neither one of them, right? All 3 of them when it comes to Lennox Lewis. But that doesn't mean they're not going to make the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. But I don't think this fight here has the magnitude of a Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis, even though that was late. But it didn't have a magnitude of an undisputed fight between Evander Holyfield coming off a Riddick Bowe win against Lennox Lewis, who everybody knew was pretty much the best guy. And so they, those 2 having the fight there was just bigger in terms of how awesome we thought they were at the time. I don't think there's too many people that don't think these guys are that awesome and the very best 2 heavyweights. I think there's more question marks there. That's just how I see it. I don't see Tyson Fury right now, right? When the dust clears and Tyson Fury's cleared of everything that we think possible that he's done, not even. If he hasn't done recently, the stuff he's done so far, I don't know. If Tyson Fury's name being a part of that, I don't know. But it could possibly be. But it's not big as any fight, Holyfield and matter of fact, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson won. I don't know about that either. Then the rematch for sure after he beat Tyson. Evander Holyfield beat Tyson. There's too many fights I can come up with that I'm not sure, this fight is bigger than, right? It's a big fight because 2 heavyweights and, right now for undisputed, but as big as those legends, I'm not sure about that. And speaking of the legend, it gave me an excuse to talk about the GOAT, and that's Lennox Lewis in my opinion, period. So Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson is rumored to be fighting Evander Holyfield in a fight, I'm not sure if it's going to be exhibition or not, but regardless, those 2 stepping in the rings are the only fight that I was actually interested in. I wasn't really so interested in Mike Tyson and Roy Jones at the time, right? I did a video about it. But Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield got my interest up, right? And so but the sums of money they're talking about, each guy getting 100 million and stuff like that, I don't know if it's worthy of that. That means the fighters nowadays are being slighted. You know, if we're gonna pay 100 million for two over 50-year-olds to fight, that's kind of ludicrous. But if they're gonna get it, they're gonna get it. And that's the fight that I think people really want to see is Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. Because that's the guy that Mike Tyson needs to come back and beat, because he got beat twice, right? And then so when other ones like a Lennox Lewis hears that, then he finally said today, listen, man, you want me to dust my gloves off? Talking to Mike Tyson. So I'm pretty sure now that the money is where that should have been, because Lennox Lewis has always said, if it's some ridiculous money, then I'll come back. But I'm not really just coming back just to come back, right? But ridiculous money like that, I'm pretty sure here, let's be honest, Mike Tyson Evander Holyfield fight, the winner of that fight against Lennox Lewis is another huge fight. So let's see what happens going forward, because that's going to be an interesting scenario. I'm not sure if these guys should be fighting without headgear or something. I think they should probably put headgear over 50-year-olds. Make it safe, because once they get in there and that bell rings and Mike Tyson and Holyfield go at it, they're gonna be throwing some leather, right? Some leather, because both of them got something to prove. Holyfield like, this ain't no fluke. And Tyson want to beat him. This is going to be, so we don't want nobody to get hurt up in here. That's the only thing that I would say. Maybe we might ought to think about a little headgear. Other than that, then let the old dudes handle their business, right? But back to the top, your boy Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I don't think that's the biggest fight since Ali and Frazier. For me, seeing as though I lived through what I'm talking about, right? And how I felt for those fights coming as compared to this one, it's not even close. Dome Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm about here, y'all.